Welcome back into the Sports Source. This segment brought to you by Madisonville Marine. Boy, do they have a selection of boats that's just unmatched. Sweetwater, Stingray, Skeeter, Hurricane, G3, all the different types of G3. Deck boats, fishing boats, pontoon boats, brand new boats, pre-owned boats. They got everything but an ark, and I think you can special order those. Madisonville Marine, madmarine.com, or Highway 411 North in Madisonville. I've said it for years because it's true. There's no better place to buy a boat. When you throw in the prices and you throw in the customer service, they cannot be beat. Madisonville Marine. All right. Spring practice was, for the most part, nixed. Some schools like Tennessee got in 2 or 3 days, but for the most part, it was nothing. Who knows what fall practice is going to be like at this point? I mean, how many schools are going to get the Michigan State Rutgers treatment and have to shut down? Are you doing a lot of 11-on-11 work as much as you normally do? And if not, what impact does that have? Specifically, will defenses be ahead of offenses this fall? First of all, do you think that defenses will be ahead of offenses, or do you not buy that?
It's an interesting question, John, and I think, yes, defenses will be ahead of offenses. You think of, for offenses, what's important for them, and that's a lot of the offseason work, the timing that you need in the passing game. Plus, on top of that, for Tennessee, they have a lot of new receivers to try to work in, and not much in terms of tight end and trying to develop them. So I think, yes, defenses will be ahead of offenses early in the season. You just don't have the normal off-season work, and I don't think it's a bad thing for Tennessee, honestly, because you would feel, I think, very positive that Jeremy Pruitt's going to have schemes around what the circumstances are, whether it's scheme or whatever, because the line of scrimmage may not be there on offense like it typically is. So you may have to find creative ways to maybe create pressures and things like that.
Yeah, and you could say a lot of it depends on returning personnel too.
Sure.
Like Tennessee with a strong, powerful offensive line, if you're able to run the ball more, then I think that gives you a chance to do some things that maybe otherwise you wouldn't. But as a rule in baseball, pitching is ahead of the hitting when you first come back. Yeah. In football, I think defense will be too, but I think you could tweak it a little bit based on your personnel and how much experience they have.
I think it does benefit Tennessee. Tennessee last year gave up
You
fewer.
agree, though, the defense will be ahead of offense?
It's sort of complicated.
Okay.
We'll get there.
Oh, you're going back way around.
Yeah, no, I think Tennessee gave up the fewest plays of anybody in the country last year than 30 yards. So I think it will benefit Tennessee in that when you don't have busts and guys know what they're doing, it can help you. Where I think it's going to be a sport-wide problem is tackling, because nobody's gone live for a year. And it's just different. I mean, we saw that some in the Week 0 games last year. People are complaining, this is a disaster. Guys are, missing 5 tackles and they can't wrap up, all that stuff. I think when it goes live, I think that's where it's going to be tough. I think the defense will be ahead because you'll see, teams that don't have busts can do that, and the timing will be off. But, man, this season – tackling is going to be bad. So if you like tackling and missed tackles, have you chucking the remote at the TV, you might want to sit this one out.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. And I wonder about the line of scrimmage, too, because of the physicality. Because you missed that in the offseason. Similar to the tackling, you missed the physicality. So if, like Chuck was saying, if you want to rely on the run game because the timing of the passing game isn't there, well, what if you're not sharp in terms of blocking on offense? Can you even go to that to help compensate for that lack of timing in the passing game? So you're right, it is very complicated. But I would still say it favors the defense overall when it washes out.
All right, very good. When we come back, we're going to do 2 segments in a row here. One of them is going to be, we're going to do a bunch of segments in a row in the show. But the 2 segments are going to be, what is the most overrated position group, storyline, player on this Tennessee team? What's the most underrated? So do overrated then underrated about this team. What's getting not enough coverage? What's getting too much coverage? Too much coverage next. Come on back.